Hello there. Thank you again for your time. The following letter I sent out in 2022 or 2023 to Father Kirk of Christ the King Church in Towson, Maryland. And it's in regard to what was happening spiritually and in the world at that time. Hi, Father Kirk. It's an honor to speak with you. I feel an angel has brought me to your YouTube site for the first time, and certain sermons of yours touch my heart. I also didn't realize Father Meeks was with your group. He is one of my favorite priests I listen to regularly. What a small world. If I can, may I give you some background on myself? It will be just a few minutes. I am the daughter of the Roman Catholic family that I believe God has brought this final confrontation of the church and the world. I grew up in Vienna, Virginia. I have been a victim of organized stalking and electronic harassment since 2003. I moved to Tucson, Arizona in 2007. I have made reports regarding these covert crimes to authorities in both states. My last letter, sent October 28, 2022, was sent to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. I was just in the process of contacting them again recently, given the further advanced effects by perpetrators of the neurological weapons effects in my life, which has literally destroyed any aspect of living at this point. Since 2012, the Holy Spirit has drawn me to a contemplative vocation. I was active in Green Valley, Arizona, spending time daily time spent before exposition. I eventually moved up to Tucson 2016 to find a church that offered an entire day's access to adoration. I have spent my days full-time before exposition of the Eucharist to this day. My daily readings and study were, number 1, on the Eucharist, a divine appeal on Freemasonic infiltration in the Roman Catholic Church. 2, St. Faustina's diary, and 3, the Gospels. I was balancing spending time in each of these areas given the state of the world at the time and onward. I was constantly striving to do God's will in all things, contemplative and lifestyle change, adapting to St. Faustina's model of letting go and giving it all to God. I accomplished this, often at 3-week cycles at a time, many times. I spent all of my time earnestly striving to take my cycles of divine mercy living as far out as I could. If I ever veered or fell away, I just began these cycles again repeatedly, and this is how I have been living my past years, the last over 10 years now. Never leaving God, just coming back and getting ready to be back in place again. While all of this was going on, I witnessed fleets of people coming and going in the day in this medium-sized adoration chapel. I, like many others, could not believe the way the world and the spirit realm was coming alive in individual lives and also given the world events. Simultaneously, my home happened to be in a loud, corrupted community I call the dictatorship of noise, to borrow the phrase, which was a living hell for me just to exist, and the spiritual warfare attacks I was receiving on a daily basis. This, too, went on for years. I had no money and was unfortunately not able to relocate or find peace in anything I did. If I really wanted that, it required me to go out for the day and returning at the day's end. As time went on, I didn't know how all of the time spent in the church would be brought to fulfillment, and I didn't know what to make of all of it. I just stayed on course with contemplative prayer before the Lord in adoration. Since I've lived spiritually, honestly, to the best of my ability, I always knew God takes care of things and those he loves. Romans 8:28. So I've rested in this, despite the fact that I'm still involved in prayer and life/personal offerings with the church to this day. What came to mind for me a few times was the reading of St. John's Gospel at the end. I too perhaps hoped that I may still be God's beloved, even if I am still here. And not to worry if I've tried my best, because God holds it all. I look back on all of this time with gratitude because God because God's makes use of all prayer offered, even if we don't yet understand it. I feel I have used my gifts for God's will and have more than enjoyed doing this for the advancement and glory of God's kingdom. Do you have any recommendations for me? I was thinking of writing my bishop. I hadn't in the past due to the fact of the advanced nature of the technology and did not think it would help the situation. I realize now that I should have, just to get on the record as a Roman Catholic. After listening to your homilies, I may have committed a sin of omission where a good act was omitted, but actually I was more than fully engaged in all of these revelations daily. That if anything, it was ignorance or innocence on my part, because all of this had me at max capacity in my life. I even changed my life patterns at home and stopped any activity with family literally to have nothing outside of God's will vying with where I found myself. I truly felt the Spirit had brought me where I was needed. And thank you again for your time.